What's up? This is the Vinyl Casket, home to the lamest taste. You can check me out on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok, I guess. All one word, the Vinyl Casket, where you can subscribe, like, and comment, hit the bell for much, much more. If you're new to the channel or you haven't been paying attention, I've been doing a lot of book reading this year. And this is going to be my final, well, last year. It is currently January 2025, and it's taken me a while to get to the point where I had time to do a review on the last book I read in 2024. I finished it like a couple days after, but I'm counting it because most of this book I read at least up to the last part of like four parts of this book in 2024. So this is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. It is the third book in the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy. Before that you had The Well of Ascension and Mistborn, also known as The Final Empire. I reviewed both books on the channel. You can check this out. This book came out in 2008. This book was previously released in 2007, and the first book was released in 2006. All published by Tor, standard for most of his Cosmere books. Obviously, this exists in the Cosmere. This book blew my mind. This book was incredible. This lighting is not working. Okay. This book was really, really good. And throughout, like, I really enjoyed the first book. I loved the second book, and I didn't think it could be any better. And this book took it to a whole new level. It shattered my whole expectation. My rating system has been ruined by these books. It was an incredible read. I never in a million years would I have thought that I would have read all three of these books in 3 months. All 500 plus pages, incredible run, incredible trilogy. I'll probably do a whole review eventually on this whole trilogy. I'm not going to do that today, but we're going to focus on The Hero of Ages. And this book, this is spoiler full, not free, spoiler full review. This book is crazy. I liked how we really shifted with the idea of following multiple characters and chapters. I did also like how a lot of the chapters that involved Vin or Elle, kind of like at random points, especially towards the end of the book, would follow both point of views, would bounce back and forth between both their points of views in the same chapter instead of separating them by chapters, which was cool because a lot of the times they were either together or their ideas or situations blended. So that was really interesting. I really loved the amount of time we were able to spend with Spook and the stuff that he went through. I really appreciated all the stuff with Tensoon and especially Zazed or however you want to pronounce it. I really enjoyed the plot line of learning about the Khandra and the whole situations, because this book spans like the entire world, the entire continent. You got stuff going on in one city, you got stuff going down all the way to the other side, you got stuff going in the middle, you got stuff in a hidden area that you find out is right next to like where most of the first book takes place and the second book, like that you never even knew about. You got stuff going on, the world is ending. The way we finally get to interact with Ruin, who was released from the well in the last book, is wild, because you kind of know he's doing stuff, because like certain things with Vin, like they're straight up like, oh, this is Ruin, but then there's other characters that are getting manipulated and you're like, oh, it's gotta be Ruin. Like eventually the pieces get put in front of you and you're like, oh, that's Ruin, that's gotta be Ruin, and then it is, and then you're still confused and surprised because the way it's revealed or it's the way it's manipulated is not how you would expect it. This whole series is some of the best writing development and evolution from book 1 to book 3. Like, you physically see the skill level drastic, not that it's low in the beginning, but drastically refine itself. Like, it gives you the concept of what it's trying to do. The second book, it takes all that and it polishes it, and the third book, it completely perfects it. And the way that it like will mention or reference something that happened a long time ago, and or a couple chapters ago or books ago, and the way Brandon Sanderson delivers all this information back to you, like references it and refreshes it and like touches on it and like quickly explains, recaps without it feeling like a recap. It feels influential. Like the way he'll bring up an event that you already know happened, but might have forgotten about, with a character that wasn't around when that happened, and their discovery of those events is your way to get a recap, but it's that character learning about it for the first time. So good, and so just like fluid. Like, this whole book is fluid. I'm getting into spoilers. Obviously, I think these books are long. I know they're long, but it doesn't feel, there's points where it feels slow, but this book itself, out of the trilogy, like, just felt like it's just took off. It did a little building, it set up the stones, and then it ran. I was really upset, obviously, with the big spoiler that both main characters die. I was very, very, like, blindsided that the Hero of Ages was actually Zaz. The discovery of how, and the explanation of how the Kandra, the Kolos, and is it not the Obligators? The what is Marsh? Marsh is in, and I don't remember what Marsh is, and really? Come on. We're doing a review. Let me find this thing. Marsh. It's got to say what he is. It always does. Inquisitor. Oh, that was awful. So Kolos, Kandra, and Inquisitor, the way that they're made, and like the third metal magic, and how that's all done, and how they do different things, and how they were developed, the whole structure that the Lord Ruler left, and all that, how it connects, was so fascinating. My favorite part of the whole thing was easily Spook. I'm so happy he ends up being a Mistborn. I loved how he had two powers and how it was explained and how he combated and basically saved the day. And yeah, I think this book was beautiful. The small gripes I have with the book is the lack of attention that Ham and Breeze got in this book compared to the last book. Was kind of annoying. And the fact that Breeze goes from the end of the last book being so shell-shocked and like startled and just scarred that I thought he was never going to be the same, and then he ends up just being boring and normal and nothing happened in this book. And that was like, I feel like something that could have happened. Like, they could have really worried about that. And like, his girlfriend was like not a big deal in this book, like did a little bit of like alimency with him. That was really it. I feel like they could have been a bigger story. I think he should have been more scarred and had more drama. I think that would have really played in with the atmosphere of him and Zaz and Spook being trapped in that town, in that city. I think that would have really added to it and given his character flair, but really his character was just there doing nothing. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. I really like negatively. Oh, and the fact that like you're telling me that there's no other keepers, that all the keepers were killed by the Inquisitors at the keepers like home. But there was only two. When their whole job is to go around and spread knowledge and teach and learn and do stuff, there was only two keepers in the whole freaking terrorist world that were out when they went to attack. There was only two in the whole world. Two keepers that were doing their job. That's what you're going to tell me. That only two keepers are doing their job. And he's as the only keeper. There's no way. There's zero way. I refuse to believe that. The fact that the Kandra start from the terrorist people is incredible, especially the terrorist religion whole idea, and him questioning his whole like life because of what happened to him. Like that's what I wanted with Breeze, and that didn't happen. But we got, and even Spook questioned himself because he let his uncle die. Zay's let the love of his life die, and he freaking just went all overboard. L is just like dumbstruck that he is failing and failing and failing and trying and trying and trying, and Vin is just trying to hold everything together, and Breeze just doesn't nothing. That's my big gripe. I'm giving this book a 5 out of 5. I think it's amazing. I think it's a must read. I think this whole series is a must read. I'm sorry I went on so long. I highly suggest it. I gave this book like a 4.9 and then these books 5s. I feel like the grading scale has to change soon. Like I still think this should be a 5, but maybe like this dialed back to a 4.8 and this dialed back to a 4.5, and like I think that could fix my grading scale. I'm not sure. I love this series. I'm loving Brandon Sanderson. Stay tuned. There will be a ton more. Thank you guys. Remember, this is the Vinyl Casket, home to lamest tasty. Check out all my videos and all my content all over the place on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, all one word. It's the Vinyl Casket. The Vinyl Casket, one word. You can subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the bell for much more. Do me a massive favor and stay lame.